We are live. We are direct with Anita Karadalian-Girgis, who is a coach who helps women to guide through their nervous system in order to tap into the next level of feminine leadership and growth, to say bye-bye to the hustle, bye-bye to the self-abandonment, bye-bye to forcing their way forward, moving away from strategy, focusing on their state, because what used to work doesn't work anymore. Anita helps them to heal, embody, and rise again to be able to make decisions through clarity and not exhaustion, to create a real change, a different way. Welcome to She Leads, She Sells. Anita in the building. Speak to me, sister.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And what an intro.
Amazing. You deserve it. 100%. Tell me, who do you serve? You might surprise me. You might say, Jay, you said women, but I also serve men as well. Yeah, so who is your ideal client? Are they over 40, in leadership, coach? Like, let me know who they are, how old they are, how much money are they making?
So this work really is for any woman, but my predominant ideal target is 35 to 45-ish, give or take. That little decade is the sweet spot of women. Typically, I call them they're my coaches, the fellows who are looking to expand into their purpose and into their lives, or they're just really happy in corporate doing what they love, but it's still not fulfilling them in some sort. But, every now and then we got a trickle of men because we're here for the guys too. But my work is
Come on.
at the heart of it, it's to expand a woman's capacity. And I mean, when we think about it, women tend to be the ones that, and this is not to say men don't go through the same thing, but women are the ones that tend to have such a wide plate that they get into their heads and with their stories, whether that's about, I have to prove my worth, I have to earn love, I have to really come to this fruition of outward service before inward dialogue. And I'm trying to help women come to the realization of it's not that you cannot be there for those, but when you are filling yourself up first, you're able to pour and give out more to those you love versus trying to put everyone else's needs first and then you're depleted.
Percent stepping into overflow. I once made the mistake of telling, an entrepreneur, hey, like, do you like it half empty or half full? She said overflow. 100%, yeah.
Absolutely. State of overflow is everything because when you think about it, abundance, when we actually are calling it in, it's I have more than enough. It's that differentiation between lack and abundance. And are you going to live your life looking at what's wrong, or are you going to perceive what is right in this moment? Can I be grateful no matter what the external situation looks like so that I can change my vibration, change my frequency into a different cultivation of a new level?
Amazing. I like your frequency, by the way. It's calm and precise.
Thank you.
Amazing. Outcome. People pay for outcomes. Ultimately, why do people pay you?
Regulated nervous systems because it's so undervalued, or regulated emotional patterns, thinking about it. Because a woman who comes to me, a lot of times, they've been living in survival mode. And I don't care what you do or what it is that you're calling in, you cannot manifest anything from a place of survival. Because let's think about it this way, when you're in the energy of need, and a lot of times the common example is people who are in the dating scene, right? When you're looking to find that partner, as soon as you can sense that they're desperate for the outcome, it repels. So what I really help women do is expand their nervous systems, expand their embodiment so that they feel safe within their body to cultivate whatever it is that they're looking for. So what that really looks like on a practical level is this embodiment of, okay, we're going to get our body on board. because, and I just did a vision board session back in December where I was making the point that it does not matter how many times you're saying and speaking the affirmations if your body is going bullshit. So it's, how do I get my body to feel safe calling this in? And sometimes it sounds so simple because we are humans and we like to complicate things, but it's literally just talking to that. Hey, I know this doesn't feel good in this moment. I know that this is uncomfortable, but we are safe here. Thank you for doing your job in trying to protect me, but we are safe in reaching this, going for this. And it's that little shift that actually makes the biggest impact.
Amazing. Visibility is key. I think I was saying that your website sharp and the branding sharp. How do you like to get visible? Like, because without visibility, we have no business.
Exactly.
How do you get visible?
I am everywhere. So
Oh, yeah?
I'm on all platforms. TikTok is
Wow.
something I'm starting to actively work on, but I had to kind of put it on the back burner. But for me, it's, I am literally making it, whether you can connect with me on my podcast or on my Facebook, Instagram, I am basically available. And I also, in person, I am very conscious of going to these events, whether that looks like a networking event, whether that looks like being on, I'm going to be on a summit literally in March on the 4th. So that's
Nice.
another aspect of visibility. And um, I go to events because for me, you cannot, my work is all about the growth. And if I am not actively growing, I am not able to pour into my people. So I'm constantly still in the state of active student. I have the mentors, I have the people I'm reaching out to, and it's very fundamental that you surround yourself with people who are going to expand you and expand your visibility as well.
Amazing. I know some people actually that they sell AI in Las Vegas by just going to the big expos and the conferences, and they just connect, get business cards, connect with people, high achievers. Like, what sorts of strategies are you using offline? Are you getting clients offline? And how are
Ew.
you doing that? Yeah.
So I do a lot of women's networking events here. So I also happen to live in Las Vegas. So I am literally, doesn't matter if it's a luncheon, a coffee chat. Um, they do these little like wine pop-ups. I love to just go and connect and be with the real women in person
Oh,
because there's something about, and I've really had it on my heart to bring out an in-person experience of my own, but I have yet to do that this year. Um, but there's something about that in-person connection. You can, it's very easy online to kind of fake it till you make it. And I'm not saying that it, with the online space, it takes a little bit longer to really connect with a person, to vibe check. And we are currently in the coaching industry in a trust recession. And I just did a podcast episode around this where people are being a little more conscious with how they spend their dollars. So for me, the best way to vibe check that in person is you get to meet me, you get to see my energy, you get to see the calm that I have. And that is not something that can be faked.
amazing. And where do you find them on Eventbrite? Like, where do you find these events?
I mean, I've done a good job at plugging into different networking groups, and I'm still learning about different networking groups. I found a few of them from Instagram, of all places.
Instagram.
Mhm.
Yeah, like let's dig into this visibility because I think what you're doing is unique. So how are you finding these groups?
Um, Again, when you live local, so for me, when I first moved here, I was having a hard time connecting with people because Vegas is just such a transient place.
Yeah,
So what it did is it forced me to start to look for connections in person. And
amazing.
what that turned into was this active connection. And to keep this long story short, I had been at a Tony Robbins event in Florida, of all places,
Yes.
and I had met one of the speakers there, and she was like, "Oh, I live in Las Vegas," and I literally was like, "Wait, you live in Vegas, of all places?" Because so much of his employees and like trainers are out in California or Florida or whatever, and she was like, "Yeah, there's such a good community out there," and I was just like, "Wait, okay, you have me intrigued," and so I asked her. Like, what do you guys do? Is there like, do you guys have meetups? Do you have something of substance that I can start to attending? And she was like, actually, I host women's luncheons. You're welcome to join. Here's the link to get plugged in. And from there, I ended up meeting different connections who linked me into different groups. And a couple of them had started to follow and post about other networking groups because in Vegas, you have to be intentional. You just have to, especially for the women, because again, it's such a growing city. It's very transient. So you might have a lot of people who are not here for the long term. So for me, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to make an active decision to be putting myself out there because sitting at home, I'm not going to meet the people that I'm meant to serve.
Amazing. Sales. I know it's something you do a lot of the somatic work, the breath work. When people actually say the investment, that's when the state, changes and, people, the subconscious mind, some of the thoughts about the meaning of sales comes up. What does sales mean to you and how do you enroll your 4-figure, 5-figure clients? How are you enrolling them?
It's an invitation. So
Okay,
that's
tell me more. Tell me more.
the way I look at it is it's an invitation. So the woman who wants to invest, and I do quite a bit free because I do believe there's value in to be offered, and that's why I have the podcast. It's a little bit of a free resource, practical tips. But when you invest, there's something energetically that happens where you are more likely to act. You are more likely to take it seriously, especially when it's a 4 or 5 figure investment. So for me, because I've also been the person who has invested and I continue to do so constantly, I've learned that in order for me to actually best serve you, I have to invite you into this work. I have to be able to show you, like, hey, if you want to really expand, there's an energetic value and energetic sense to that. And the more you're able to actually plug yourself in, and the more you actually are willing to do it, you're actually more likely to follow through. Because how often have you seen, like Tony Robbins, as huge as he is, he does these 3-day live seminars once a year where he just had one in January. Millions of people show up. But the reason that they don't always gain the retention is because they are not plugged in. They have not invested in the knowledge. So I feel good in this moment. You inspired me a little bit. I'm not going to do anything with it. But when you invest, it puts this practicality of like, oh, I spent $1,000, I spent $5,000, whatever it is. And for some people, depending on where you're at in life, that might be a stretch. So when I invest, guess what? I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to nurture and try to work this program. However, we also know that there's the other avenue of people who are a little bit of the course junkies. So they just like to stack courses. So for me, what I like to do, and as I'm bringing out the Her method in a course format, you have the option for one-on-one because we all have those moments where it's like, I need a coach to walk me through this pattern. And so it's a little bit of hand holding, but the way I see it is we have to have a investment because it's actually, at the end of the day, it's an investment in ourselves. And there's nothing better than investing yourself.
Great answer. I love the leadership.
Thank you.
What's the big plan for 2026 for you?
I mean, this year is actually, we were speaking about visibility. So for me, this year is really focusing on exploding that visibility even more so. Getting on stages, sharing my story. For me, what really brought me into this work was my own personal transformation. So I'm starting to write the cap off that. And I've been working on a book. And it's these little momentum actions. But at the core of my heart, I have it to serve at least 200 women within the year because I
Amazing.
really want to turn the Her method and the methodology into a movement of embodied women who are going after what it is that they want, whether that's an aligned relationship or an aligned business.
Amazing. I love your flexibility, the fact you're willing to go online, offline, you're willing to,
I mean,
explore, travel, jump on a plane, go to a Tony Robbins event, go to a luncheon, like understanding that yes lives in the land of love, yes lives in the land of no.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I really realized in order to expand myself, I had to be willing to take it upon myself to look for this knowledge. So when I'm thinking about how I'm serving, it's the same thing. I have to take it upon
Amazing.
myself to find these women, to make them realize this is what's possible for them.
Amazing. I know when I started to serve women 4 years ago, I thought, you know, why is someone gonna listen to a black guy and the women helping women see? And I thought, you know, is there really a spot for me here? And then I started to focus more on serving rather than what people were thinking of me and what I could get. I just said, hey, look, I've got some magic. Former high school teacher. I'm able to help people to teach, sign clients, avoid sales calls. That was my block. What's your block in terms of getting to where you need to be?
At first, it was visibility.
Mm.
So
Not
that's
anymore. Not
it.
anymore, sister.
Not anymore, but at first,
100. Not anymore, sister.
because it was like, gosh, do people even want what I have? And you get into the realm, especially when you start comparing, and that could be a very big thing, especially for women, where you're like, well, there's this coach, and then there's this coach, and there's the Tony Robbins. Why would you choose me? And what I realized is there was something that you actually touched on, and it's that calm I have. And it's something constantly that keeps coming back up.
Mm.
Wow, you have this like innate calmness. I want that. And when I finally started to listen to that, I started to realize it is actually a disservice for me to be making these stories of, oh my God,
Amazing.
I cannot be seen. I cannot be compared to the XYZs of the world because women still need this.
Yes.
And I found personally in my own experience, speaking on comparison, I've had many different teachers. A lot of them have been on my own podcast where I have learned the same thing in different realms at different points of my life because I resonated and I needed to hear it from that specific person. So when you just get yourself out of the way,
Yes.
you realize it's for the person you're serving. It's not for you
100.
and the egotistical, I want to be seen as the expert and the perfect person.
100%. Can't
Ah,
love to dig into love
love,
to dig into this, making the impossible goals.
yeah.
Like really saying, okay, you know, if it's going to be 100K month, what would the goals be? How would we do it? And recently started to run paid ads. I was speaking with my ads manager just now. She was saying, hey, look, you know, we could get 200 people, 250 people registered for this event. Wow, okay, that's the power. That's set the impossible goals. How about for you? Like, what are you reading and what's the golden nugget that we can take from that?
I mean, I am just so, when it comes to like goal setting,
Yes.
I do this. A lot of people wait till the new year. I am
Amazing.
constantly revisiting my goals. And in fact, behind my laptop right now, I have a whiteboard.
Oh,
And
wow.
it literally is, I have two sections because I run two different businesses. And on one, it's what am I doing with Arise with Anita? What does the brand vision look like? And it looks like both on a monthly and what I'm achieving for the year,
Amazing.
and then different categorized points. On the other end, I have the same thing, kind of rough outline of what it looks like. But what I've learned is you have to have your goals in front of you. And that's why vision boarding actually does work. But you have to be consistent with it. And so for me, I have my vision board on one side. It's on my screensavers. I am constantly making the effort to remind myself what it is I'm calling it. When it comes to books, right now I have it in my bedroom actually. I'm reading another book about nervous system healing because that's
What's
my
it called?
wheelhouse. It is, I believe, somatic healing for coaches. I can get you the exact name afterwards, but
Yeah, yeah, no, all good, all good, all good. Yeah.
um because as much as I'm an expert in this, I'm still constantly nerding out on how do I improve and just what other angle can I take with this? Because I think that's when you're practicing your craft, you have to learn to love it, learn to love the experience of learning about
Yes.
it.
Say that
And I
again.
don't think that you ever really get to a point where I know it all. And in fact, I would challenge that. If you think you know it all, regardless of the topic, then are you maybe blocking yourself from another 2 millimeter shift that could actually explode your business in another sense? So for me, I'm constantly looking at what is being done, what's new on the industry, what other potential certifications, etc. I can still take to fine tune my craft. And I think the biggest dangerous word sentence that we have is I know.
Amazing. I know that you're a wonderful coach, and it's been a blessing today. Let them know how they can contact you and who you're looking to serve.
Beautiful. So I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, not Twitter. Don't know why that came out, but Facebook, Instagram. I'm getting back on TikTok, and it's at Arise With Anita on everything. And then I'm also on Facebook as Anita Karadalian-Girgis. It's just a full long last name. You can connect with me there. Or you can go to my website, arisewithanita.com. You can learn about my services. I'm looking for women who are just ready to expand their nervous systems, hold more, expand your capacity is really what I do.
Love that.
Honestly, I'd say 30 to 45-ish, but if you're a little older, I'm willing to work because I have a servant heart. I've never fully excluded it. It's just, you learn trial and error in this industry. And for me, I realized when I was doing a little bit of my senior generation, there was a little bit of resistance to the work. But open mind, open heart, I'm willing to serve anybody. And so, yeah, you can connect with me on Arise with Anita. I also have a podcast called the Arise with Anita podcast, which is bi-weekly episodes all around nervous system regulation, emotional healing, somatics, leadership, embodiment, using your voice. And I bring on guest experts from different industries. And so you get 2 episodes a week, one little solo nugget, and the other one is with a guest expert who's killing it in their game and in their respective industries. So I'd love to have you guys, and thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. She leads, she sells. We've been Arising with Anita. God bless you, Anita. God bless the United States of America. We're over. We are out. Yeah. Thanks, Anita.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Amazing. Ooh, that's the episode. That girl from Vegas.